What's up, guys? Cascade Wing here back on Risk tutorial series. So here we're talking about religion today. So religion is pretty important. It's pretty important to your nation what your religion is. Probably about pre-1700. Beyond that, it's just more of a title, because that's when the Age of Enlightenment and all that pops in. So it's not completely relevant past then, other than in real theocratic nations. I guess you could say it. More religious nations, which is more about the Middle East and Asia. And probably South America as well, and a select few European nations. But I feel like it'd be best, so I'll probably into this server, Medieval Customs. Medieval is a very, very big time for religion. It's a lot of time where people are turning to their... Because it wasn't a very nice time to live in Europe. It was very bad for people. So it was a good time. It was probably the best time for people to turn to religion. That's the only way they really saw the way out. So we're going to talk about religion and risk. So why is religion important in medieval? And I mean really in risk overall. So the reason why is because of the casus belli. If someone has a different religion than you, it's probably about pre-1700s, and you can declare a holy war, which means that you're basically saying my religion is better than yours, and I'm going to prove it to you. So you can take land of this war. So my nation, the Jihad dynasty of Egypt, this is custom, so I made it custom. I am Shia. The major Muslim nations in the server are Shia, by the way. Iran over there, and I am also Shia as well. There's Ammar down there. I don't know what religion they are. They're probably Shia as well. Basically, Shia is basically in the Middle East. It's basically Egypt, Iran, and I think this area down here. So this area, and I think this area. We're going to put a question mark on that. The Shias, and the Shias are going to be about, the Sunnis, my bad there. The Shias are going to be about this area. They're going to be through here. They're also going to be around there. They're also going to be over here. Sunnis are also going to be up here. That's pretty much where the Islamic religion splits. Also, each is more blurred in modern day. So modern day, it's going to be a bit more disputed over here. There's a lot more Sunnis, I'm pretty sure. I could be completely correct on this, because I'm not completely sure about this. I'll definitely look in a second. So yeah, after more research, Egypt is definitely Sunni at this point at modern day. But during this time, the leaders at least were Shia. If you just look at the Fatimid dynasty, I think that's what it is. I'm pretty sure it's the Fatimids. They were Shia, and I'm pretty much imitating them with this right here. So that's where I'm getting the Shia from. And also, I want to be allies with Persia because look how powerful they are, and plus basically all these nations through here, through this Mediterranean area, including Italy and Byzantium, essentially, and these Greek nations, they're all allied against me, as well as Judea. They're all allied against me. They were all allied against we basically have this coalition going on for Cyrenaica. That's basically it. It's so pointless. Cyrenaica is very poor. They eventually gave it because they're like, well, we don't care anymore. Actually, we don't want war with you. Because I actually have a very good manpower, and me and Persia probably have about equal manpower than they do. However, my navy will get completely dominated by theirs. So I just decided not to do it, and eventually they just kind of gave out. I also secured the holy cities because Judea is expanding pretty fast and through the Muslim through Jordan and that area. So I took the holy cities there as well. So if you're a Christian nation, which I'm sure majority of times you are going to be a Christian nation, I generally choose Muslim nations because no one plays them for some reason. I don't know why. But still, I'm sure I have no reason. I'm not going to say it though. So anyway. So the Pope can call, crusades on nations. So they can call crusade on, like, Egypt, for instance, and it's basically calling all, Christian nations to come to arms and invade Egypt. That's why religion is so important. The Muslims can also do a very similar thing called jihad. I'm basically calling crusader things too, but they can do if they want to. Also, often if I'm a Muslim nation and I'm being attacked by a bunch of Christian nations, I generally call a jihad, and then basically this gives me an excuse to pull more manpower. I'm basically saying people are flocking to help me fight the infidels, so I'm getting more manpower from that. And I'd say it's a pretty good excuse to get more troops, and it definitely can help you a lot. Now in India, religion is pretty interesting in the modern era, because really it's interesting because the reason why India didn't have like an open uprising against the British, like an armed rebellion, is because a lot of India is actually very pacifist, like the Jain, the Buddhists. They're very pacifists. They're very in that spectrum, and that's why there wasn't really an armed rebellion because the Jain and the Buddhists are definitely they're not a majority, but they're definitely a large chunk of the population in India. So they definitely hold some favor there and hold some influence. That's why there wasn't ever an armed uprising, because that happened. The Jains and the Buddhists would immediately stop supporting any sort of rebellion that occurred. So another thing is the Protestant Reformation. The Protestant Reformation happens in about Germany, Scandinavia, to some extent with Switzerland and England as well. But basically, this rarely is RP'd very often. It's kind of sad because it's a very interesting thing. So this guy Martin Luther says no more. The church's teachings and rises up. So Protestant Reformation will sweep across Germany and Scandinavia. So that's another thing to watch out for when you're role playing as well. Another interesting religion. So Jerusalem, Christ is crucified there. Jesus Christ, a prophet, and he is a prophet, right? Even Islam recognizes him as a prophet. It's interesting, but you can also roleplay that as the Roman Empire. There's other things as well. You can roleplay as a rise of Islam. You can roleplay as they have the Great Shiitism, basically where the church splits east and west. I'm sure there's some things going on in China in that area. That's not a place that I'm definitely indulged in. I'm more Southeast Asia kind of person, and I'm definitely pretty good at North America as well. That's because I live in North America. I'm sure you can understand. I'm also okay with Russia as well, and Turkey. I'm really good with Turkey, but East Asia, that's more of a Johnson-y kind of person. Johnson-y the admin. He's pretty good with that area. He's very good with China. Like, he's ridiculously good with China. That's definitely not my area of expertise. Certainly not. Also, religions were pretty good. It's pretty interesting as far as the colonial area, the colonial empires on the west coast, of Europe. Some reason why they actually colonized the New World is because of religion. The Catholics would spread Catholicism all across, the New World. Obviously, the story about the Protestants trying to escape England and all that. But it's also another interesting area of religion as well. Iraq is also another example of why religion is important in risk. Because Iraq is a pretty interesting area. Iraq, my bad. That's completely my fault. And mispronunciation is definitely something I try to thrive in. But what I'm trying to say here is that there's a lot of conflict between the Shia and the Sunni branches of Islam. There's a lot of conflict there. Because it's basically the regimes there are switching between being basically Shia oppressive regimes and they go to Sunni oppressive regimes. Basically, it's been going for about the past half century in Iraq right at this point. And there's just people being oppressed there because of religion. That's why religion is important in risk, because there's a lot of religious turmoil in nations that have split religions, and it's definitely an area to look at. So how would you figure out, and religion is very complicated, so how would you figure out which nation has your religion? So I'm going to lay it out for you in the European area, kind of like Eurasia. So the Europe plus Middle East there. So I'm going to map this out for you, right? With my, certified tools of mapping of Bandicam skill. So let's first do about 1000 AD. About 1000 AD, you got all of the Christians about right through here. Not quite Spain. You got that's Christianity, right? Then you got Islam all the way out through here. This is Islam. All the way around through there. And you got the Eastern churches right here. She's obviously through here and through here. So that's about 1000 AD. Let's do about 1400 AD. Let's go 1400 AD or CE. I'm assuming CE. So this is Christianity all the way through here. They're much more expanded in that area, but much less over here. Be more about this, and then you're gonna have Islam, the Turks in Anatolia. They're gonna be about this. That's gonna be about Islam right here. And and at this point, the Sunni are taking over. The Sunni dynasties have already about taken over through here. The Saladin. All those people. The Sunnis have taken back over Egypt from the Fatimid dynasty, who was Shia. So now North America. North America really only have to map out for about till 1700, because the Natives are going to be about worshipping their own religions. The Aztecs are self-sacrificing, where they cut people's hearts out. Very interesting. I'm sure you understand. So we're going to do about the modern era. So Protestantism is basically all of this huge chunk of land all the way through here. And then Catholicism is basically the rest of North America. It's basically all of Mexico, South America, Cuba. That's basically this is a Catholicism. This is a Protestantism. Very simple area. All right, I'm gonna try to do my best here in Asia, even though this isn't my really area. I haven't done. Okay, so we're gonna try my hardest here. Please do not be mad at me if this is all wrong. So I'm pretty sure. Hold on. Let me do some research on here first before I screw myself up. Well, actually, we're gonna do Japan first. So Japan is Shinto. They're much more open Western religions now, but they're still Shinto. And we're gonna do easy parts first, right? In Indonesia and Malaysia, Malacca, they're all Islamic. So this is all Islamic. Pakistan is Islamic. Bangladesh is Islamic. And that's supposed I can do by myself without having some issue. Oh, and one more thing. Philippines is Catholic. Okay. Right. So what I understand is that Taoism and Confucianism is basically all of this. Buddhism is going to be about all of this, about that, and then Hindu. We'll bring this from the color here. Hindu's going to be through here. That's be Hindu. Actually, probably more about it like that. But just get my idea. Very general. Oh, and then you have the Eastern Orthodox, which is about going to be up here. About that. Eastern Orthodox. Not very dominant, but definitely the most dominant religion, but it's not very dominant in Russia. It really isn't. But other than Western Russia, really. So that's about it for Asia. This is generally how it is. In the earlier areas, you're going to be about have Jain and Buddhism all going to be in India. They're all going to be fighting in this area. I'm not going to go into specifics there, but I just know that they're all fighting in the area. You're also going to have the Khmer. The Khmer are different. The Khmer are doing stuff over here as well. Because they're not going to be Islamic for a while. It's about, I think, till the Sultanate of Aceh, which is going to be about right there. They're the first sultanate in this area. I think this area is Buddhist until the Sultanate of Aceh appears. And that's about it for Asia. So Africa's pretty easy as well. Christianity is going to be about. Let me see my color first. Christianity is going to be about looking like this. This is about all Christianity, and Islam is going to be about all of this. And about that. That's going to be about Islam. Africa's pretty easy. Right. So now we're talking about how religion affects you diplomatically. So as a Muslim, basically any Christian nation or really any infidel nation having close relations with them is basically a no-go. It's basically a no-go unless we share like similar goals. Like if we both have like a major enemy that we need to defeat, it's only really the only time that would ever happen is when we have common enemies or something like that. Is when you would ever ally with a Christian nation if you're Islamic. Same way as you're a Christian nation, you would never ally with you would never ally with an infidel. And this keeps going. For Islam, it's probably the same till today. It's probably till today, till in a lot in the more I would say extremist nations such as, but most of them are more open to Western influence in this modern era. But I'm more more specific to this area, towards this era. So yeah, basically you having close relations with any infidels. If you're Islamic, if you're Christian, if you're I'm not gonna say anything about the Asian religion because I don't know very much about them, other than their basic beliefs. But so I'm not gonna go over what's there. Basically, that's just how it works. You're just not really gonna like each other due to your religious differences. No one likes the Jews, by the way. Everyone hates them. No one likes them at all. Everyone just hates them for some reason. I don't know why. If you just look throughout history, people have always hated the Jews, so you're not gonna be friends with them either. So that's pretty much how it affects you diplomatically. Also, another thing, if you're conquering an area that has a different religion as yours, it'll take a while to convert it. I would say maybe about at least 30 years to convert it. That's a pretty much probably a low end area. Especially if it's like a Islamic to if it's like Islam to Christian, a Christian to Islam conversion, it's going to take much longer than that, because of the differences within there. But if you're like converting like pagans, it'll be very quick. It won't take very long at all. So I feel like that's a pretty basic overview. I took a long time because religion is very important in risk. It's very important in how politics work and how nations interact with each other. It's very important in that area. I feel like I'm going to get part 2 to this if I really feel like I haven't explained this very much as good enough. But we're also going to do a culture video as well. We're going to do a culture video as well. I feel like we need to do it as well. So that's about enough for this video. And I'll see you next time on Risk Universalis. And by the way, guys, it's almost Christmas, and I'm planning on listening for Christmas. We'll see what happens. So be on the lookout for that. So thanks, guys, for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.